Right, let's give it a go. Hello guys, and welcome back to Car Obsession. I know, I finally had a haircut. It's about time, isn't it? Anyway, you don't really care about my hair, do you? So in today's video, I'm fitting a brand new battery to my Mk2 Leon Cupra because the current battery is on its way out, really. Got there eventually. So yes, a new battery is required. To be honest, this is quite an easy job, so you should be able to do this at home. This isn't technically a how-to guide, but I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing and basically, yeah, just document it really. So yes, first things first, we do of course need to access the engine bay. So we need to open the bonnet. If you don't know how to open the bonnet on your car, then this probably isn't the right job for you anyway. Right, so the battery is just here. As you can see, it's under this cover. So I will require some tools. There is a clamp down here as well. I think that's a 10mm bolt. You can't really see it because the cover's in the way. So I'm going to grab some tools and I'll be back in a few moments. For this job, I'll be using a ratchet with extension, as well as a 10mm socket and a 13mm socket. Right, so of course, the first thing you need to do is to locate the battery, which is just here. So it's to the right hand side of the engine bay as you're looking at the engine bay. So it's within this cover here. Now it's always really important to remove the negative cable first and then the positive. The reason for this is for safety reasons. Then when you put the new battery in, as I will demonstrate later, you put the positive on first and then the negative. So those are really important bits to stress. Now, one would argue you don't have to wear gloves. I'm going to for this job, and if you really want to be extra cautious, you can wear safety goggles, but me personally, I would argue that is a little bit excessive. But whatever you're comfortable with, guys, you have to make sure that you're comfortable and confident doing the job. So on each terminal you have a little nut, and you'll need a 10mm for that. So I'm actually going to go in with my ratchet. I've got quite a long extension. Must admit, it is being quite persistent. Oh, there we go. Just mine it out the way. There we go. Right, that should be enough to free that one up. And there we go. Let's just mine it out the way. See, what you may want to do is kind of get a cable tie, try and wrap it around something. Obviously, make sure it's safe, but just kind of wedged it in there. Right, so good. Try and get that terminal somewhere that's out the way. Okay, let's now take this cover off. Just give it a wiggle. There we go. And now you can see, if I get Patsy, my glamorous assistant, to come around. So you should, hopefully, if the lighting is okay, see there is a bolt down here. And that clamps the battery in place. There we go. So down there, you can see there is a bolt. I'll zoom in a bit more. And that is clamping the battery in place. So if I zoom out, you'll see it's towards the bottom of the battery. It just helps to keep it in place, which is obviously a good thing. You don't want your battery moving all over your engine bay, do you? Well, not that it would get very far, but you know what? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So yes, I'm going to undo that bolt, which is out of focus, and I believe that is a 13mm. So I will hand the camera back over to Patsy, Mrs. Car Obsession. Yep, that is indeed a 13. Now, one thing I will say is, personally, I'm going to loosen it to the point where I can undo it by hand, because the last thing you want to do is loosen the bolt fully, and then you lose it in the engine bay. That would be a world of pain. So, I'm just going to see if I've loosened that enough to free it, which I have. Although Oh, there we go. Right hand is, yeah, that's a lot easier. So just undo the nut by hand. Well, not the nut, sorry, bolt. I should really be using the right terminology. It's a fairly long bolt, so you may be here for a little while.
At least there's less chance of dropping it.
There we go, there we have one bolt. So I pop that aside, pop it safe, you don't really want to lose that. And then take the clamp off like so. And that is the clamp.
Let's have a look.
Now, just a quick one. Depending on your car and also your audio setup, you may need to remember your car's radio code. Now, I've been told on good authority that for this particular car, a Mk2 SEAT Leon, I shouldn't need the radio code, but obviously I will soon see if that is the case. So let's lift out the old battery.
If not, you'll just have to put up with my singing instead.
Yeah, but that's no bad thing. Right, so time to lift the old battery out. So I've got to just try and make sure these terminals are kept out the way.
You need to hold it.
No, that's fine.
And this is where you need muscles.
Yeah, because it is actually quite heavy. I'll just pop that to the side. Oh, right, and of course it's now time to put the new battery in. Right, so make sure I put it in the same way. So the negative is towards the back and the positive is towards the front. Right, let's just get out of the way. That's very close to the terminal, don't want to do that.
In case people are wondering, is this the best battery you can buy for the car, or are there specific brands you'd recommend?
Well, Yuasa are a very good battery brand, and when I actually went on to TPS, which is kind of the main dealer, part supplier for this car, when I put in my reg, TPS themselves recommended this very battery, so I'm sure it will be just fine. But to be honest with you, I think most batteries are going to be pretty reliable, so even if you get a Halford Special, you should find that you shouldn't really have any major issues. Right, before I get the terminals back on, I'm going to get the clamp on and make sure that is in the right place, because you don't want to put the terminals on, put the clamp on and think, oh, I've cocked up there. Right, so Patsy, I'll need your help again so you can see, so the viewers can see me putting the clamp on. So the clamp can only really go on one way, so it should be pretty self-explanatory. So I'm just going to put it on now. Right, I will just need to reach around you, darling.
Go for it.
Right, let me put this bolt down. So I'm going to end up dropping it into the engine bay. Put the clamp in and just make sure that it lines up. So there's actually a little groove for the clamp to go on. So I think that needs to come forward a bit, which is easier said than done. Just mind that out the way. Oh. Right. Just trying to get it lined up so the clamp goes on properly. I think that should do it. No, the battery needs to go back just a tad. Right, just watch that lead. So just make sure that everything lines up nicely, so when you clamp the battery down, it will be in the right place.
I'm trying to film it and I'm trying not to get in your way.
I don't have particularly big hands, but whenever I do anything mechanical, it feels like I've got the hands of a giant. Right, just do it up by hand as much as you can. Right, let's get the ratchet out. Okay, that needs to be set the other way. And just do it until snug. Nope. That'll do us. It's now time to put the terminals back on. So, as I said earlier, when you're removing the battery, you want to go negative first, then positive. But when you are reconnecting the new battery, you want to go positive first and then negative. So those are really the things to remember. speaking of remember, I almost forgot to put this back on. So the little
Jacket.
yeah, the battery jacket. I like that. Good terminology. Right, put that back on. There we go. Give the battery its coat back. Just push it down at the end. Perfect. Right. So. There we go. It's already quite snug. Oh. There we go. Right, there we go. Right, let's give it a go. Yes, that's more like it. Now, of course, my clocks have reset and everything, that's fine. I can sort that out later. Right, will the radio work? That's the question. Looks good so far.
And scored more than 90 goals for Leeds and won every domestic honour.
Trust you to find a football one.
There's BBC Radio 4 random station, but yes, that's all good. That's working as it should do. Let's try it again. Yes, and let's face it, that wasn't a particularly difficult job. It's one of those jobs that, as long as you've got the right tools, which isn't really that difficult, and you make sure you're following the right safety precautions, this is easily a job you can do at home. You don't have to be a fully competent mechanic. I'm not a fully competent mechanic, and that was a very easy job. Did that in very little time at all. So, yep, I am a happy chappy. So there we have it. One new battery fitted in pretty much no time at all, and everything is working as it should do. So I really do hope you have enjoyed that video, guys. I hope you have found it helpful. If so, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.